Hello and welcome to the Geek Embassy Watches Infinity War. This is our special hot takes episode where we're going to give you some rapid fire answers to some questions regarding Infinity War. And I am here tonight with my co-hosts Regina, Max, Tahani, and Evan. My name is Dante Bucheri. I'm your host, and we're just going to jump right into it because it is really late where we are.
So it's really late where Evan is.
Yeah,
where Evan's concerned.
Yeah, Evan. Evan
All right. All right, so let's start off with. I'm gonna randomly choose Max. Max, who's your favorite character in this movie?
I want to say Thanos.
That is a perfectly valid answer.
I want to say Thanos because even though he is a stone cold, black-hearted bastard, the performance was just phenomenal, and I felt sorry for the power-hungry Grimace.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. But yeah, I'll say Thanos. Fight me.
I like it. I mean, I probably won't because Thanos will probably kill me. Anyways, Tahani, how about you? Favorite character?
I liked Peter Parker. I thought that he really did great. He had a new suit. I loved him all the way up until the end.
Oh.
All right. Evan.
Random. Like, I loved everybody. Obviously, I felt like everybody was beautiful. But my random favorite, I really liked Ebony Maw. Like, Thanos was an excellent villain, but he was complicated, he was nuanced, he was exactly what he was supposed to be, but Ebony Maw was just such a slime ball. Like, he was just such a little sycophant. I loved, like, just seeing him, like, suck up to Thanos. He's like, you're all...
Squidward?
Yes, that was Squidward.
Okay, that's Squidward. Okay.
Yeah, and then he's like being all evil. He's like, you don't have the power to defeat me. And just, like, seeing him get his comeuppance, like, halfway through, I was like, that's a good old villain. We don't get those kinds of villains very often anymore.
That's awesome.
Like, I thought he was great.
Yeah, I think he worked very well as a secondary villain. Like,
Yeah.
if he was a primary villain, I would have just been rolling my eyes the entire movie.
It would have been awful, but he was perfect in his capacity. Like, I kind of almost got the idea that as soon as, like, Thanos realized he was dead, he was like, finally. Like, he probably was just as sick of him as everybody else was.
All right, Regina, what about you? Favorite character?
I have a hard time picking a favorite character in a movie like this where there are so many characters, so I'm going to pick a favorite relationship, which ties back to our podcast episode, if you'd like to hear us talk in depth about the relationships in Infinity Wars, or Infinity War. So I'm going to pick Doctor Strange and Iron Man.
Oh my god, it was the best.
Because the banter between them, the competition of the egos, like, oh god, it was just so good. And my favorite line, since we don't have favorite line, is one of the selections for our hot takes. But my favorite line is when Iron Man says to Bruce Banner, "You're embarrassing me in front of the wizards."
Oh, that's so good.
I just died. I thought that was just
good.
Classic Tony Stark. And yeah, it was just awesome. So
seeing Tony Stark meet Doctor Strange and then meeting Star-Lord, just so much ego conflict.
Yeah, so many egos. So
it's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have to steal Max's as well. Like, I thought Thanos was a well-written, well-developed character. Especially because Marvel has gotten so much flack over the years for having basically one good villain in Loki and a whole host of forgettable ones in practically every other film. They've really started to up their game with Killmonger in the last Black Panther movie, and then Thanos just kicked it up another notch. For that reason alone, like he's far and above my favorite character in this movie. All right. And like I really like that whole favorite line thing. Does anybody else want to do that?
I do. Favorite
Please,
line.
Max, let's do it.
The kid's seen more movies.
I love that. Oh, that was good.
That was a great one too.
That was spectacular.
Again, Tony Stark.
So good.
All right, Evan, what about you?
Oh jeez, I couldn't even begin to pick one. So many great moments.
All right. Well, we'll come back to you. What about you, Tahani?
Basically, anytime that Thor and Chris Pratt
Rocket.
were in the same room, Star-Lord,
Oh.
just
Oh my
with him,
God.
just slowly, just that was great. That made me laugh the entire scene.
Yeah, that scene was
Uh,
great.
that's
When he started
absolutely
imitating
wonderful.
his voice, and he's like, "I'm
This is how I always talk.
No, you may not take our ship today.
yeah,
I just about died.
The ego.
All right. All right, Evan, you got anything? Because I've got one.
I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers.
Oh, that was
that was
that's
funny.
another really good
That
one.
was good.
Yeah, all right, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I'm the host and I can. I've got twos. After Thor comes down from the Rainbow Bridge into the middle of the fight scene in Wakanda, when Banner yells, "Oh man, you guys are totally screwed now!" I nearly fell out of my chair because I needed a happy moment in this depressing movie, and I think my other favorite line was in the after credits scene. It was Nick Fury's final line before he turns to Ash, and I'm not going to repeat it because it's a very Samuel L. Jackson line. You guys know the rest. And he doesn't even finish it because he turns into Ash, and it just made me laugh a lot.
I forgot about that.
That is how Samuel L. Jackson will die in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Mid-curse.
He's gonna be on his deathbed, and he's gonna start saying it, and then it's gonna flatline. It's gonna be great. All right, so most gut wrenching death, Max. I think I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's death. And the thing, I actually had this pointed out afterwards. The reason that it actually hit me so hard is because he was the only one who I think felt it beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to explain it was because of his spidey sense. He knew something was wrong. And
Before
then
everybody else did.
no one else really felt it. And he just, that hurt. And I haven't even seen any of those Spider-Man movies, but it still hurt.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Tahani, how about you?
That one was definitely very difficult to watch. I think the one that affects me most personally, the one that really bothered me, was Heimdall's death.
Okay, yeah, that one was a little bit tough to watch as well. I just, as a character that we've known for 3 movies and we all loved. All right, Evan, how about you?
Obviously, my main one was Peter Parker, but like that aside, I think the one that was most impactful for me was T'Challa, because when he just dissolved right in front of Okoye, and he's like, "Come on, General, we're not done yet," kind of a thing, and then he just was reaching out to help her, and then just dissolved in front of her face, and her being Okoye, she's like sworn to fight to the death for her king, and she's watching him fade away in front of her, and just the look of horror on her face as she realizes her king is lost. Like, that was like, I felt that so deeply. Like, her whole purpose in life is to protect her king and her kingdom, and he just dissolved in front of her, and she couldn't do anything about it.
No, yeah, that was also rough. Good, yeah. All right, I don't want to talk about that one anymore. All right, okay, Regina, what's yours?
I'm actually going to say Loki.
That is a solid choice.
Mostly because I feel like he's the only one that might actually be dead. Yeah, and it was hard. Like, I think part of it too, with the way the deaths happened at the end, that kind of fading into ash thing that happened. He didn't have the look of death on Loki's face. Like, that was the hard part when he dropped him in front of Thor, and he had that vacant look, and it was so clear that he was truly gone. That was hard, and it happened at the beginning of the movie, and so I was wait, what? Like, I knew people were going to die in this one, but
a sign of things to come
right now, here, and it's Loki. Like, what?
Yeah,
and I'm not 100% convinced that he's dead either, but I'm more convinced that he is than anybody who turned to ash.
Yeah,
I will say, he is the only one who I will be mad if he does come back.
No, you don't
He's
like him.
earned a death that sticks.
Yeah.
Like,
you
I
and me
know
both.
all of Tumblr wants him to come back. I want him to stay dead.
I know, but
Mhm.
I just love Tom Hiddleston, so I'm sorry.
I mean, it was, yeah, and I loved that death in particular, mostly because it got a whole bunch of personal satisfaction out of me, knowing that Tumblr is crying over it. But also, it was preceded by another one of the best lines in that movie. It was, "You will never be a god,"
Mm,
and it just gave me shivers.
yeah,
I mean, of course, he was
that's
wrong.
good.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But my most gut wrenching death, though, I just thought of this one literally 5 hours ago when I sent you all this article from James Gunn,
Oh,
who's the
yeah.
director of Guardians of the Galaxy, and some fan asked him on Twitter, what was Groot's final "I am Groot" line, and James Gunn says, "Dad," because he was talking to Rocket as he turned into Ash, and
Yeah.
knowing that and replaying that scene in my head, I was just, I can't deal with this anymore. That is my most gut wrenching death, knowing that Groot just wanted his father to hold him. Oh, I don't want to
I'm,
talk about this anymore.
I'm actually tearing up. I'm tearing up right now. Please, can we move on?
All
I
right,
need to
so
go hug a tree.
so
I have Groot
most
on me.
so
Sure.
most emotionally
I know.
impactful scene for you. Is it different from the most gut wrenching death?
Oh, it is for me.
All right,
Yes.
Regina, let's start with you.
Okay. I thought the most emotionally gut-wrenching scene was when Gamora asked Star-Lord to kill her.
Oh
Um,
God, yeah.
the whole sequence pretty much from when she asked him before, like, I know something and you have to kill me before he can find it out.
Mhm.
And then the actual scene where he's standing there with the gun on her, and that whole sequence was riveting. And
Yeah.
it just like, and then when he couldn't, like, he actually finally got the courage to do it, and then he couldn't actually execute it. Oh God.
Yeah.
You
All
said
right.
gut wrenching. That was gut wrenching.
Oh, it was. It absolutely is.
Hmm.
No, yeah. This movie is so hard to talk about, audience. All right, Tahani, what about you? Most emotionally gut-wrenching scene?
Rather than gut wrenching, can I use impactful?
Yeah, impactful's fine.
All right. If you guys haven't already read my article, Your Favorite Thing Sucks, Thor Ragnarok, please go do so, because Thor has been such a huge disappointment to me throughout all of these. And so when he decided to sacrifice himself in order to make Stormbreaker, that was like the greatest moment of character development that I felt that I had seen in a long time, and it was very impactful for me.
Nice.
Awesome. I
That's
like
good.
that. All right, so Evan, most emotionally impactful scene for you?
Thanos sacrificing Gamora, and not because it was sad for him, because even though it was, I feel like that's more horrific than anything else that happens in the whole movie. And it's because, like, at that moment where he's told by the Red Skull, which we never even mentioned how he was in this, but like when he's told that you have to sacrifice someone you love, and she's like, "Ha, you don't love anybody." She really believes that, because up until this point, she's just seen Thanos as this absolute monster who's just evil, just pure evil. But in that moment, when she discovers that Thanos really does think he loves her, that's when I think she realizes he's not just evil, he's evil and insane. I think up until that point, she'd been trying to rationalize everything, but no, he's not just being evil, he genuinely believes what he's doing is the right thing, and that makes it so much worse. And I think in that moment, when she realizes, yes, he does really think he loves me, and he did all that other stuff to me, I think that makes everything that's happened to her up to that point so much worse somehow. And
Yeah.
then that's like the last thing going through her mind as she dies. You know?
Yep. All right, cool. All right, Max, how about you?
This one isn't going to be as, I don't want to say grandiose or like story relevant, but the scene that got me the most on edge and I think had the strongest impact on me was the scene where Gamora was watching her sister get tortured.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah,
That-
that was rough.
That was hard
That
to
was-
watch.
Yeah, she had some genuine pain on her face in that one.
Mhm,
I-
she did.
She was literally coming
yeah.
apart.
I couldn't tell you specifically why. I mean, it was horrific, sure, but I don't know. It was that was hard for me to watch. That was painful.
Yeah.
That was just not. Yeah. So I'm gonna say that one. That hurt.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. I guess it's my turn now.
Yeah. Don't forget you.
Sorry to
Yes.
bring it down, guys.
Oh no, don't worry about it. Mine's just about as bad. So when the Guardians went to nowhere, and
Oh.
Thanos was using the Reality Stone to orchestrate an entire thing, where Gamora thinks that she kills him. Like, not even anything after that. Just the moment where she stabs him in the jugular vein and again in the gut, and she thinks she killed him, and then she starts breaking down. That really hit home for me. I mean, like, I will get a little personal here. I have gone through some stuff recently where I have had folks walk out of my life that, even though I know it's an extraordinarily toxic relationship, it still hurts a whole bunch. And I felt a sort of kinship with Gamora, even though it's not even remotely the same thing. But she has an extraordinarily, probably the most toxic relationship with this person that I have ever witnessed, or that's ever been depicted in genre films like this. But the fact that she still manages to carry some sort of love or caring for this father figure, who is also her torturer, who's also her jailer, and who's also everything negative in her life, that just set me off. And I was sitting there like, oh, this is what kind of movie this is going to be like. Like, I'm just going to steel myself.
This is how this is gonna go.
Yeah, this is going to be great. So, all right, well, let's move on then to the final thing, I guess, is just overall letter grade. What are you going to say? Let's start with you, Tahani.
As of right now, I'd give it an A. I love this film. I loved all the build up to it, but that can be made or break with how they tie off everything that happened. So,
Okay.
but as of now, an A.
All right, cool. Regina?
I give it a B.
Okay.
With the contingency that I might change that grade based on what Tahani just said in terms of how it pays off. I feel like this is a true first half, and it will depend a lot for me on how the next movie goes, how I'll look back on this one. But right now I'm kind of, like I said, I didn't cry, and I cry at everything. That's a mom thing. That's when you're a mom, you cry at everything, and I didn't cry, and I was like, wow, that was weird. I went to a movie and didn't cry.
Yeah, audiences, it's a miracle that Regina's not crying at this very moment.
You've no idea.
All right, Evan, what about you?
I can reiterate what they said. A lot of it's going to depend on how this pays off, because
Yeah.
we only really had the setup. But as of at the moment, on its own merits, it's an easy A. Like an A, I'd give it an A plus. It's one of the better movies I've seen in recent memory.
All right, okay, Max.
I'm going to give this an A. Somewhat contingent on what Regina and Tahani said, because this is just the first half, but this is how you make a good damn superhero movie. This here. It has actual stakes, it has emotion, it has loss, and there's a lot riding on the second one. I'll say that. But
Yeah.
this is how you make a superhero movie, or at least an arc.
Yeah.
All right, Dante, how many pluses are you going to give it?
At least 6, one for each stone. So yeah, I'm giving it an A plus. I mean, could you tell I absolutely loved it?
Yeah.
It's written practically all over my face. This this is exactly as Max said. It's how you make a superhero movie. This is how you build a villain. This is how you build. This is how you build stakes. This is more, I guess, than just a movie for me, because this is the stuff that I got made fun of as a kid for reading and for loving, and especially as a young adult who was told once, you're never going to find a girl if you keep wearing those superhero t-shirts.
Oh.
And I had to tell them, or maybe I'll just find the right one. And it was great. So
That was
yeah.
sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this was this was like a physical manifestation of like my childhood just coming to life. I felt a lot of validation, and it was a fantastically done movie on top of it. It is impossible for me to separate my emotional gut reaction to the objective from the objective measures of what is and is not a good movie. So this just kind of strikes all of the right places in all of the right areas for me. I cannot give this anything less than an A plus. And that about does it for us for this hot takes. Thank you so much to Evan, to Max, to Hani, Regina for joining me tonight on this this occasion for me to just gush about my new favorite movie. And thank you all out there in Radio Land, Internet Land, YouTube Land, wherever you are consuming this for watching us. We are the Geek Embassy. You can find us at thegeekembassy.com, facebook.com/thegeekembassy, Twitter at the Geek Embassy, same place for Instagram. All of our social media will be in the show notes. You can also find the extended podcast version of this Hot Takes episode on thegeekembassy.com. We are on Stitcher, iTunes, and Podbean. Is that right, Regina?
That's right.
Podbean. Yeah, that's the one that I remember. Just click on the RSS feed, subscribe to it, like, share with your friends. We would love to interact with you in the comments sections, and just please let us know what we miss. Let us know why we're wrong. Let us know why we're right. I guess until next time.